Oh, hello, and hey. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you as always for being here. I appreciate you coming on through, stopping by, halting in your way, clicking on the video, seeing the thumbnail, seeing my face, hopefully smiling. We're listening to Pentangle today. We're moving on in the album Cruel Sister, 1970, with the next track, When I Was in My Prime. Some would say that they are still in their prime. Some would say that today is their prime. Amazon would say sign up for Prime. And Optimus, well, he is pretty prime. But we're... You know, I put absolutely no thought into my transitions from naming the song, discussing what we're about to listen to, throw in some sort of word confetti, some sort of segue, and then playing the music. I don't think about it. I just kind of press the light and go. So let's do it. Now I feel awkward. This is Pentangle, When I Was in My Prime. Boom.
When I was in my prime, I flourished like a vine. There came along a false young man, come stole the heart of mine. Come stole the heart of mine. The gardener standing by, 3 offers he made to me: the pink, the violet, and red rose, which I refused all 3. Which I refused all 3. The pink's no flower at all, for it fades away too soon, and the violet is too pale a hue. I think I'll wait till June. I think I'll wait till June. In June the red rose blooms. That's not the flower for me, for then I'll pluck the red rose off and plant a willow tree. And plant a willow tree. And the willow tree shall weep, and the willow tree shall whine. I wish I was in the young man's arms that stole the heart of mine. That stole the heart of mine. If I'm spared for 1 year more, and God should grant me grace, I'll weep a bowl of crystal tears to wash his deceitful face. To wash his deceitful face.
"'Twas homeward bound one night on the dew. Swinging in my hammock, I fell asleep. I dreamed a dream and I thought it true, concerning Franklin and his gallant crew. With 100 seamen he sailed away to the frozen ocean in the month of May. seek a passage around the pole, where we poor seamen do sometimes go. Through cruel hardships they mainly stroll, their ships on mountains of ice was grown. Only the Eskimo in his skin canoe is the only one that ever came through. Baffin Bay where the whale fishes blow, the fate of Franklin no man may know. The fate of Franklin no tongue can tell. Lord Franklin alone with his sailors did well. Now my burden it gives me pain. My long lost Franklin I would cross the main. 10,000 pounds would I freely give to say on earth that my Franklin
Okay, so I had to. Oops, hold on. We've already heard your cruel sister. Ooh, that's a tale. All right, I had to let those two play together. Obviously, you hear When I Was in My Prime, and you got to let it run into Lord Franklin. I don't think that there's a lot of singers who could sing purely a cappella, only their voice, no accompaniment of any sort, not even a harmony, that could sing a song so on point for a couple minutes. There are. Hold on, I'm not done. But actually keep your attention, keep you engaged with it. Obviously, there's plenty of singers that could sing an a cappella on their own, whatever. That's not the hard part. For some of us it is. But that's not the hard part for them. But to keep us engaged, to keep our attention, to keep us wanting to listen to more, that's a skill. That's a skill. And Jackie, at least for me, she kept my attention within that song. Beautiful voice. Yes, I love her with the band. Duh. But on her own. I wasn't expecting that, but how beautiful was it? There's a nice little respite in the song, in the album, I should say, in the track listing. Coming off of I Made That Steep in Love, which was obviously fantastic. Having that little break, and then kind of softly opening our eyes back into the story, Lord Franklin, before it moves into its longer tale of Cruel Sister, with its nice progressing build-up. I just think that that's a really nice kind of interlude, basically, in the track list. I think that's a nice little showcase for Jackie, as if she needed a showcase. But I like the other little nuances you can hear in there. For example, I know it's a small thing, but it's one of the things I notice. You can hear her intake of breath. It's such a small thing, but for some reason, that just makes it more real. It's like, hey, these absolutely gods of singers and musicians, they breathe just like you and me. I don't know, it's some sort of simple reminder. And then Lord Franklin with very, very delicate guitar playing. I don't know exactly who's singing. It could be Bert Jansch. It could be Mr. Renborn, because they're both credited vocals. So I don't know. It could be Terry Cox as well. I don't know. They're all credited vocals. I don't think it's Terry. It's either Bert or John. Probably John. But what a gorgeous voice, taking lead in the song along sort of that playing. And then once again, the focus on the story itself is part of that engagement, of actually a big part of the engagement. Even if you don't have the lyrics pulled up, I think that you can follow it along and kind of keep track of the story. And they do a great job of putting these songs, these folk tales together in a way that you want to hear what happens next. It's like when you're reading a good book and you're getting tired and you're nearing the end of that chapter and you're like, okay, I'm going to dog ear it. We're going to get your bookmark and put it on the next chapter so you can read, wake up tomorrow and read more. And then like you see like just a few words on the next chapter on the next page and you're like, let me just read a little bit. And then before you know it, you're halfway through the book. It's like one of those, like they keep you guessing, they keep you wanting more in their tales here. Which, to be honest, as I was reading, I was kind of thinking that there may be some sort of connection between the songs, but I don't necessarily think there's an exact connection, perhaps more of a thematic one. So, for the lyrics of When I Was in my prime, I flourished like a vine. There came along a false young man, come, stole the heart of mine. The gardener standing by, 3 offers he made to me, the pink, the violet, and the red rose. I refused all 3. The pink's no flower at all, for it soon fades away. The violet is too pale of a hue. I think I'll wait till June. And then what happens in June? In June, the red rose blooms. But that's not the flower for me. Like, I love how she actually has these reasons for rejecting these flowers. For then I'll pluck the red rose up and plant a willow tree. And the willow tree shall weep, and the willow tree shall whine. I wish I was in the young man's arms that stole the heart of mine. If I'm spared for 1 year more, and God should grant me grace, I'll weep a bowl of crystal tears to wash his deceitful face. And then moving on into Lord Franklin, I feel like there might be a connection between these 2 songs, but I can't say for sure. It was homeward bound one night, on the deep, swinging in my hammock, I fell asleep. I dreamed a dream, and I thought it true, concerning Franklin and his gallant crew. Okay, so someone's dreaming about Franklin. With 100 seamen he sailed away to the frozen ocean in the north, or in the month of May, to seek a passage all around the pole, where we poor seamen do go sometimes. Through cruel hardships they mainly strove, their ship on the mountains of ice was drove, only the Eskimo with his skin canoe was the only one that ever came through, so some sort of bad voyage, a bad trip happened. In Baffin Bay where the whale's fishes blow, the fate of Franklin no man may know. The fate of Franklin no tongue can tell, Lord Franklin along with his sailors do dwell. So someone's dreaming about Lord Franklin, and Lord Franklin didn't make it to wherever he was going. He didn't come back. And now my burden, it gives me pain. My long-lost Franklin, I would cross the main. 10,000 pounds would I freely give to say on earth that my Franklin do live. So probably like his wife, I would assume, is the one having this dream about her husband, I would imagine. And she just wants some sort of answer, even if it's not the answer that, she wants to hear. And of course she does want him to live, but she just wants an answer as to his whereabouts and his whoabouts. It says, Lord Franklin, also known as Lady Franklin's Lament, is a song written in the mid-19th century commemorating the long-lost Arctic explorer Sir John Franklin and his wife Lady Jane, Franklin's exhaustive efforts to rescue or find her husband. Okay, well there you go. That makes sense. So there's your story. Wasn't this a great album? Because that's it. That's 5 tracks. That's all there is. What a wonderful album. Hey, I would love to know what you guys thought of it. Thank you guys so much for listening to it alongside of me, for exploring new music with me, for guiding me, etc., etc., etc. Of course, you are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter, support the channel on Patreon, all of that stuff. Thank you as always for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, by the way, in case I didn't mention that before, or your afternoon. I'll see you later. Bye.